they were compromised by people who had access to emails of Congress leaders. Delhi police too is probing the insider angle to see if this was done by some disgruntled element within the Congress.
Delhi police has received complaint regarding Twitter account hacking of Mr. Rahul Gandhi. We have initiated legal action, we have registered FIR and investigation is on.
The Congress, however, has refuted the charge that the hack was an inside job. Congress party says that only 2 people had access to Rahul Gandhi's Twitter account, he himself and a lady named Nitakshara. The party also says that email accounts of Rahul Gandhi and the Congress and its official website have also been hacked. The brazen breach has once again raised questions about cyber security, especially when India seems to be heading towards a digital economy. Bureau Report, India Today.
Now this social media hacking comes at a time when the government is trying to push digital payments. The Congress is linking the two to say that if our digital assets are not safe, what about the digital assets of the Aam Aadmi? Is it even fair to draw a comparison? Before that, let me try and explain what the government is trying to do, because as part of the drive against black money, the focus now is moving towards a cashless economy. The attempt that's being made is to link the Aadhaar numbers to internet banking to make it easy for people in rural India, semi-rural India, to be able to use their smartphone as a banking device to promote unified payment interface, the UPIs. In addition to this, encourage digital wallet applications so that payments are made. Now, a lot of this might seem like common knowledge to people who are watching on India Today at this time, because you and I do this. But in rural India, remember, this is several decades away, or that's what they would have imagined, that's what people would have imagined. Now the government wants to short-circuit that process and jump straight in front. The government wants to make government-owned point-of-service machines also to be available, get public banks to push their digitization plans and their e-wallet applications. Now this is, remember, not happening in Delhi, Mumbai, Bengaluru or Chennai, but in the back of beyond as well. To talk about whether there is at all a correlation between the Congress's digital assets getting compromised and digital payments, I've got Dr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi. Subimal Bhattacharya is a leading cyber security expert representing the BJP, is Amit Malviya. Now remember, the Congress has been insinuating that the Bhakts are at it. They've given no evidence at all to substantiate that. Amit Malviya is the national head of information technology for the BJP. I want to go across to Dr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi, because the moment I put out the question, Dr. Singhvi, of this debate, the first response I received on Twitter was that asked Dr. Singhvi this question, that if somebody were to die while crossing the road, you can't say that roads are unsafe just because the Congress's social media accounts got hacked. Now that's got nothing to do with digital banking or e-wallets. How can you make the case that digital payments or the government's drive towards digitization, that by itself is unsafe? Dr. Singhvi.
Rahul, after that long question, there is a saying that when you cannot meet an argument, you first distort it and then meet it according to your own distortion. I think it is ridiculous to suggest that the Congress party has even remotely, in any manner whatsoever, suggested that there should be no Digital India move because the Congress party account has been hacked. All that we are saying is, and let me tell you straight away, that Rahul Gandhi is the kind of person who's least bothered as far as he himself is concerned. He laughs it off. He welcomes these abuses which he has been getting for many, many years from very, very motivated, paid, organized quarters. What we are saying is something radically different. We are saying that yes, first and foremost, you should have spent a year or two digitizing the economy, making cashless economy, and then done demonetization, instead of reversing the order that you do demonetization and then press a button and saying it will become digital immediately. And secondly, now that you have done demonetization and are in the thick of calling cashless every day 10 times a day, at least set in place an architecture which cannot be foolproof. Nobody is saying it can be foolproof, but set in place an architecture which prevents, minimizes, reduces considerably. And today large numbers of people don't even know how to operate these things. Imagine if it can happen to tech-savvy cyber cells of political parties what can happen to the common man. So all that we are saying is, this is a wake-up call, please be, it's not an ordinary kind of a hacking. It's a massive across the board. And therefore we are saying, this is a wake-up call, doesn't matter to us at all. We are happy to take it. Rahul Gandhi is happy to face these abuses. It really matters that you must
set the stage for this debate by making two good points. One, that the sequence should have been reversed, that the government should have spent a year or two to try and prepare the arena for digital payments, to try and get people on UPIs, to get them used to e-wallets. Instead, you've demonetized the 500,000 rupee notes, and now you're pressing the panic button and saying everybody must go digital. This, Amit Malviya, in a country where there are lots of people in the older generation who are scared of using ATMs, using their debit card machines because they don't know what will happen to the machine, what will happen to their money. Now you're saying just do it all on the mobile. Now that might be well and good for Amit Malviya, who leads the IT cell of the BJP, but what about the person in the back of beyond? What about the person in rural India, where these concepts are totally alien and very radical?
Now let's look at India's payment ecosystem, or the digital economy ecosystem. The credit cards and debit cards and point of sales and UPI and USSD and all other means that we are talking about have existed there for many, many years. We have been using them. A large part of our country has been using them. To just give you an estimate, about 60% of railway tickets today are booked online. And clearly there's a lot of Aam Aadmi, as you say, who travels on the railways. A lot of tickets on airlines are booked today online. A lot of travel and hotel industry works online. So it's not as if it's an alien medium, we don't know about it. What we are essentially trying to do, or what the government of India is really trying to do, is to take it to the people and tell them the benefits of it on a more proactive basis. As far as prioritizing demonetization and the digital economy, it's not really one after the other. It's all about, making them move simultaneously. The demonetization process has to do with fight against black money. Obviously, it could not have been done at a certain time, after a certain milestone. It just completely defeats the purpose.
Because on the specifics of this case, because we've seen, Dr. Singhvi, suggestions by people who've been looking at this probe very closely. They claim that the Congress is wrong in suggesting that the Twitter handles of Rahul Gandhi got compromised, that they got hacked into. They're saying instead it's a INC server, the INC.in server, the Indian National Conference.in server. That email server is what has got compromised. Somebody with access to that email server had access to all the passwords, the information, and therefore was able to get in. They're saying this is an internal breach. This has not got to do with Twitter being hacked. This is an internal breach, they're saying. How do you respond, Dr. Singhvi?
Yeah. So the first point I've answered about distortion. Now this actually, if it is not serious, would be a really nice comic point. It would reduce from anywhere near sublime to the ridiculous. I think that it's entirely possible that Rahul Gandhi has done it himself. Why not? It's entirely possible that as we speak, Rahul, the sky may fall on our heads. But we live this world, you and I, on reasonable probability, not possibilities. Just one simple example which proves, not probable but proves, the content of what has been unleashed after this hacking is the usual vicious, abusive, gutter level, vituperative content which we are used to for decades for anything to do with the Congress or the Gandhi family, unleashed by a particular brand and community of organized, vicious hate-mongers who have a visceral dislike for the Congress. Now that content proves that it would be highly unlikely, if not impossible, for the Congress to do it. But of course it is possible. But you don't function by laws of possibility. You function, this world functions by the laws of probability. And it's very easy and comic and funny and trivial and frivolous and ridiculous for BJP spokespersons to be suggesting today evening at programs that this has been a Congress insider job.
You're suggesting that the BJP did it, or people who you claim believe in that ideology, that worldview, are you accusing them of having done it?
Yes. 100% Rahul. It's easy for the mainstream BJP to distance themselves, as they do frequently, because they have made this they've perfected the art of having this so-called parivar, which is actually their parts of their limbs, fingers, hands and legs, but always have the deniability and the distance.
Okay.
And it is that
Amit
group
Malviya, you've
which
just
we
been
know has
accused on
very
live
active in social media
TV
for
of
decades.
somehow being
Historically.
responsible for this hack on Rahul Gandhi's account. Not you personally, but the social media parivar of the Sangh Parivar,
Not
Dr.
mainstream.
Singhvi.
I didn't accuse
Absolutely.
him. I didn't accuse him.
Absolutely.
No, I
You're
accused
saying
perhaps
that the
mainstream
ideology,
BJP.
fair enough. You're saying that people
Yeah.
Well,
owing allegiance to that
I-
ideology are responsible for this hacking. How do you respond,
Well,
Amit Malviya?
The
Well,
content
I've been
shows it,
hearing
the
this
content.
since
the
last
content.
night when Rahul Gandhi's account was first hacked, and I quite find it amusing that the Congress spokesperson is proposing that probably Rahul Gandhi could have done it himself. But I quite disagree, because Rahul Gandhi cannot type such smart tweets, you know, irrespective of the content that it was, because the man can't even speak 2 lines in one go. But having
personal.
said
Let's
that,
focus on the
we
facts, please.
in the BJP have a huge lead over other political rivals as far as the digital channels and medium is concerned. We have ongoing conversation with Facebook and Twitter quite actively, and in this particular instance, Twitter is quite clear that their platforms are quite secure, and it's not a case of hacking. Therefore, it is probably a case of the account being compromised by somebody who had access to all the digital assets. He chose to vent himself out in a manner that the Congress is now finding it quite embarrassing, and so instead of trying to restore the account quickly, the first thing that their spokesperson and their various leaders on social media did was to try and jump on the digital initiative of the government. That itself told us, you know, the bystanders, that there's something amiss. And then today morning in the parliament, where the Congress raises any kind of trivial issue to corner the government, chose not to raise this, because they know that this is an insider's job probably, and they would be very embarrassed if the investigation,
You know, one second.
when the whole hog
Amit
and they found out
Malviya,
who the
one
person
second,
is.
you know, we're
So
not,
having said that,
I know that in
what
America
do
they're
you
saying they've
mean?
already arrived at a
this is-
post, no, hear me, Amit Malviya. They're saying we've arrived at a post-truth society. I fear that that seems to be happening in India as well. First, we've got Dr. Singhvi accusing the Parivar ideologues in some way of having orchestrated this. You are counter-accusing the Congress of this being an insider job. Now, you don't have any evidence to suggest that this is indeed an insider job. If you think so, lay out the evidence. Where is the evidence? You just said so.
Accusing the Congress. I'm merely, look, Rahul, Rahul, my concern is not whether Rahul Gandhi's or Congress's accounts were hacked. It is for the law enforcing agencies to follow up after a complaint is filed. My concern is that the Congress party is using this as an alibi to project the Digital India initiative of the government under cloud. And that is what I object to. To get over the embarrassment that they are in at the moment, they are quite okay to sacrifice the country or the country's interests. And
Good
that's what
counter.
my
That's a
concern
good
is. I
counter.
don't care about
Instead
the
of
rest it.
looking, Dr. Singhvi, purely at who did this and why, and trying to get to the bottom of that, the Congress has linked this. Several people have spoken. Shashi Tharoor spoke to us this morning. Randeep Singh Surjewala has been saying this. Several Congress leaders have linked this hacking with digital safety per se. Now, the hacking of a Twitter account is not the same thing as the hacking of an e-wallet or an online banking system. Therefore, the charge against your party is that you're using this hacking to suggest that digital payments per se are unsafe, Dr. Singhvi.
Look, we don't need this hacking to try and demolish the demonetization, which is the most foolish policy which the Prime Minister now finds himself in the middle of, and is trying every day to justify by new arguments. There are at least 10 arguments, and this is not a debate on that, but I can prove to you conceptually, economically, soil notes wise, cashless economy wise, black money wise, UP elections wise, it's the most biggest self goal and hit wicket of history. So we don't need this hacking argument to attack demonetization. All that we are saying is that please put into place an architecture of safety and security to reduce, minimize and hopefully prevent, obviously not prevent, but minimize and reduce the possibilities of hacking, because you are now trying to do bang, press a button, India suddenly will jump from 5, 6, 7% cashless economy to 100% cashless economy, and as that magic day comes, telescoped from years and decades into just 6 months, which is the dream of a febrile imagination of the Prime Minister and the BJP. During that time, you will make more errors, as you do every day in the zigzag rules you make about demonetization.
I want to
Don't
bring
let
in
those
now.
errors allow increase in
I want to
hacking.
bring in
That's the
now a
only
neutral
point.
expert on the
Please
show.
put in place
Subimal
an architecture
Bhattacharya
of safety
is a
and
leading
security.
cyber security expert. Question number one: on the basis of the information available so far in the public domain, Subimal, who do you think is responsible? From the level of sophistication of this hack, does it at all seem to you to be an inside job? Multiple INC accounts are being attacked. Does it seem to be part of a very sophisticated vicious campaign, Subimal?
Rahul, first and foremost, we have to understand that over the last 24 years, whatever noise is being made is trivializing the whole issue of a major hacking attempt. Now, whether this is insider or whether this is some external attempt, the investigations that the law enforcement is already up to will determine. But let me also tell you that it need not necessarily pinpoint to one individual or an entity, because the internet protocol addresses from which the attacks could have been carried out can generally also be spoofed. But having said so, what is most important to understand is how this breach would have happened. That's what is very important for the Congress party, the law enforcement agencies, as well as Twitter to understand. Because this is not a whole-scale attempt or an attack on Twitter. It is one or two accounts and possibly linked to the attack on the Congress server. So the server was compromised, and at the same time, accounts with the Twitter, which has nothing to do with the government infrastructure or machinery, has to do. So we must absolutely delink the attempt that is being made to make an hacking attempt or an event into around a big catastrophic situation around whatever assets we have in the nation, or whether we want to facilitate whatever is
it's
being
a good point, and I want to put that question to Dr. Singhvi. Do you accept, sir, that it is the email server of the Congress party that got hacked into? Do you concede that the original hack, which led to subsequent hacks, actually happened at the end of the INC server of the Congress party, Dr. Singhvi?
I do not know the technical details because I'm not technically qualified, but I do know that 9 accounts have been hacked into, and a police complaint was lodged yesterday. The complaint itself was seen by me, and the ministry is taking it seriously and acting on the complaint as well. So we'll know the facts. I am only answering this very ridiculous and funny comic point, if it were not tragic, that Congress has done it in some unexplained mysterious sense. Now this makes great copy, it makes great rhetoric, it makes great platitude, but it is so comic.
Sir, it's
so
not a
ridiculous,
binary. Dr. Singhvi, it's not a binary, and my question was not so complex. Let me put that to Subimal Bhattacharya. Where the hack originated from is of consequence, because if this originated at a inc.in server, that means the email server of the Congress party originally got hacked. That is where the information would have been accessed from, which is why the subsequent hacking of the website, the subsequent hacking of 9 websites, 9 Twitter handles happened. So that is a very crucial detail that needs to be established.
I think the Congress party should be seriously worried and have a great look at their digital ecosystem, because in times to come, much more into cyberspace the forays will be. So it is a great time for them to take a wake-up call to look into it. Of course, the law enforcement has a larger role to ensure that the perpetrators are caught. But just trying to make so much of noise over the issue and kind of linking here and there just doesn't help the cause of cybersecurity in the country, because we know there is a lot to be done and there is a lot of expectations, and despite a cybersecurity policy announced from 2013, the pace at which things are happening has only just picked up.
Final words from Amit Malviya, because the charge that Dr. Singhvi levels is, and this is something that Randeep Surjewala said to me earlier today, you look at the handles that have been attacked, all of them are Congress handles with INC in them. Look at the specific handles that have been chosen, all of them were tweeting about demonetization, were opposing demonetization. All this, the Congress says, gives credence to the charge that somebody who doesn't like the Congress, possibly at the behest of the ideology, the worldview of the BJP or the RSS, has done this. They haven't given proof to say though, but they're saying the circumstantial evidence is building up. Amit Malviya, final words.
Rahul, to even comment on the absurd charges that the Congress spokespersons have been leveling through the day and whole of last evening would be legitimizing it. But having said that, the irresponsible handling of Rahul Gandhi's account, for that matter Indian National Congress's account, is in no way a reflection on the cyber security infrastructure and the policy and the law around it. The Congress must get on with life, figure out what's wrong in their ecosystem and not try to derail a popular movement where the country is now moving on to a very positive sphere and trying to embrace the digital economy, fight black money, something that the Congress has been trying to disrupt every now and then in different means, and they're using this opportunity also to do the same. It'd be very unfortunate if they put the loyalty to the family ahead of the country's interest.
Final words, Dr. Singhvi. I hope you've changed your Twitter handle password, your email account password as well. Subimal Bhattacharya says you need to up your game when it comes to cyber security. I hope you're taking some preventive measures, Dr. Singhvi.
I think everybody in the classes held for all BJP representatives, you are taught, if anybody opposes you, he's anti-national, he's anti-country. Repeat that 20 times, you'll be right. And that's what you see everywhere, that's what you saw just now. Let me tell you that in a country where admittedly government statistics published show that vendors, 2% of all vendors have vending machines of plastic. 2%. Where 85% of salaries are paid by cash, where 90% of transactions are cash. I think if Mr. Modi and BJP and all its representatives want to keep on thumping their chests and giving self-congratulatory backslaps that the pressing of a button will make it a cashless society, they will not spend 6 months, 1 year to first try and make it a cashless society and then try demonetization, but they'll do it the other way around in reverse gear. Well, then I think people can live and have dreams and live in fool's paradise. But the results are there already, and after three months,
okay,
instead of the December 31st being the magical date, the secondary effects will kick in and you will see what is happening.
I'm going to leave it there. Dr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi, Amit Malviya, Subimal Bhattacharya, for joining us on the Newsroom Showdown tonight. Thank you very much. I will not take sides because both parties are accusing each other without concrete evidence. There's no evidence to back that this is an insider job, yet there is no evidence to suggest anyone in the BJP owing allegiance to the BJP did it either. Of course, the Congress needs to up its game when it comes to protecting its cyber assets. The fact also, though, is you can't say that digital payments are unsafe just because your social media accounts got hacked into. There is simply no comparison. We're slipping into a break. When we come back, the much talked about interview with Niti Aayog Vice Chairperson Arvind Panagria, where he lays out the detailed roadmap. Demonetization is just the beginning. He says the government has many more moves planned out. All of them impact you directly. What are those? I'll tell you about that when we come back on the other side of a very quick break. You're watching the Newsroom.